since I started my practice, one thing that I every day tell my client is that anxiety and stress are the most important thing in your life. And the reason that you have problem with it is that because for so long you have been looking for ways to cope with something that you need to embrace. Now, hear me out, and by the end of this video, if this is something that you're interested in, let me know what your thought is. And by the way, let me know what you think of your anxiety and stress sources are and how you have been dealing with it. But putting that aside, I want to focus on the concept of having anxiety and having stress. The most important thing, like I mentioned, is your ability to recognize something is out of balance. Think about it. Always imagine to yourself what would happen if you wouldn't have felt pain. If you weren't able to feel pain, what would have happened? It would be extremely, extremely difficult for anyone to live past a certain age because something would have happened, you wouldn't have noticed it, and that would take your life away. Just a simple example would be putting your hand on a stove. That would be bad, right? Because you're going to burn your hand. How do you know to pull your hand away? Because of the pain. The pain exists. Now, when we get sick, we hate that pain and we always look for ways to take like painkillers, all of this stuff. But the initial pain that we feel tells us something is out of balance. Something is not working the way that it should. So we make adjustment depending on whatever we have to modify or we have to create. Either we're going to take a pill, Advil, or I don't know, something, or we're going to go to doctor, or in a worst case scenario, we're going to go to an emergency room, have surgery, get it all taken care of. But that pain is the indicator, is that flashing light that, hey, something needs to happen, otherwise it's going to be catastrophic. Same things goes with anxiety and stress. Anxiety and stress, we as humans have the ability to recognize our life being out of balance. Think about it. If I didn't have anxiety or stress, I wouldn't wake up in the morning to go to work because I don't stress about paying my rent at the end of the month. So why do I even want to make money? I'm just going to stay at home, sleep, watch Netflix. If I don't have anxiety about or stress about what am I going to eat, I'm not going to go shopping. I'm not going to cook food because everything is taken care of. So the fact that I have those anxiety, those stress, allows me to live my life the way that I want it. Make those choices to see how I want to be. Think about the pain. If you burn your hand, you have a choice. How do you want to deal with that pain? How do you want to heal yourself? And then finding ways to heal yourself gives you health. That's the biggest benefit. The thing is that health exists and bad things happening, those also exist. That middle part, the initial indicator, that's pain, or we call it stress and anxiety. That's something that tells you that be aware. So stress and anxiety are not what gonna end your life if we're talking about pain, you know? They're not what's gonna not make you make money and be broke. They're just something that it's placed in there to help you recognize that something is out of balance. So instead of finding ways to cope with those things, to say, sitting to yourself thinking, what do I do? What do I do? How do I make money? How do I do this? How do I get rid of this anxiety? How do I get rid of my stress? You need to sit down and ask yourself, how can I cope with it? Rather, how can I embrace it? That's the best way to put it. How can I embrace it? Don't cope with it. No, correct myself. Don't cope with it. Embrace it. Love it. Appreciate it. Oh, I have stress for my job. That's amazing. That means something is not going right. Okay, what do I need to do for it? Do I need to go back to school? Get another certificate? Get another training? Do I need to apply for that job that has always been telling me that I need to do and I'm putting it aside? Do I need to finish my homeworks on time? The world is yours. What do you want to do with it? Don't think anxiety and stress are what pulling you back or what not letting you be your best self. No. The person who's not letting you be your best self is no one but you. And I'm sorry, I know that's harsh for some people because I've been there. We all have been there. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have done those things. We all have been in that moment of thinking that everything is going great. I don't need to do anything. But at one point, you need to sit down and ask yourself some fundamental question related to how you want to be with your life. And if you have the ability to recognize those questions and be able to identify, target little piece of information that can get you closer to your goals without pushing away your stresses and anxieties, rather by embracing them, acknowledging your downfalls, the things that are preventing you to achieve your goals, then, my dear, you have just accomplished the biggest and the most important obstacle in your life, and you have overcome it simply by letting yourself know that it's okay. It's okay to be stressed. It's okay to be anxious. I love it. It should give you joy. Here's a difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Those who don't succeed, they recognize that there is something that is giving them stress and anxiety and they just avoid it. Rather, those who succeed, they recognize what gives them stress and anxiety and they embrace it. They'll do something about it. So which one do you want to be? Do you want to succeed in your life? Or do you want to push yourself back and back and back and back? For how long someone is going to be there? Or what if the person who's there stopped being there? These are harsh questions. These are really, really, really harsh questions. Because when we ask ourselves these questions, we always end up feeling sad. But the thing is that sometimes we do have to feel sad. Sometimes we do have to feel anxious. Sometimes we do have to feel stressed. Sometimes we do have to feel terrified. Because if I'm at the edge of a mountain and I don't feel terrified, I'm just going to walk. I'm just going to jump. But I do feel terrified of jumping. So I'm going to step back. If I'm out there cooking and I put my hand on the stove, I need to feel the pain. Otherwise, I won't know when I need to pull my hand back. And all of a sudden, I hear smoke coming out of my hand and I see that my hand is useless. The thing is that those pains, those stress, those fears, those anxiety that exist, they're good. They're amazing. They're what gives us power to be human. That's the whole thing about being human, is having an ability to recognize good versus bad. Recognize things that we need to improve, develop versus things that we need to avoid. Why do we get so excited when a dog learns not to potty inside of a house? When a dog is trained? Because they learn good from bad. Why do we get so excited when we build an algorithm, like an AI algorithm, that can define good things from bad things and can make complicated mathematic equations, solve equations? Why? Because they can recognize when to do something, when not to do something. Well, here's the great news. You have all of that within you. You don't need to be trained. You don't need to be programmed. You just need to tap inside of yourself. You know, think about a seed, little tiny seed. If I give you this seed, imagine this seed belongs to the most rarest flower on the planet. This tiny little seed, I give it to you. Okay, that has a lot of value in it. What if you just throw it on your table or put it in a drawer, put it inside of a closet? What will happen to it? Nothing. You have it, yeah, no doubt that you have that seed, that one of a kind seed, but what's the point of it? Now, what if you get that seed and then you get a little pot, a little tiny pot, and you plant the seed and then you start watering it. Now you have used that seed to its maximum ability. And sometimes in life, we have to use ourselves to our maximum ability. And once you're able to do that, that flower, that seed will root itself out and it will flourish and it will become the most amazing thing on the planet. The rarest planet, the rarest flower. Sometimes we need to do that for ourselves. We need to recognize the ability that I have, that you have. Take it out, implement it, flourish it, water it. Give it the necessary nutrition that it needs so it can become you, your best self. And then your options are endless. You could achieve anything and everything that you desire. As long as you support yourself, you believe that you can do it. You believe that you are your best self. And avoid pushing away your stress and anxiety and start embracing it. Start recognizing it, that every single aspect of you is a gift. Whose gift is it? Not gonna talk about it, but what is important is that that's a gift. All of your emotion is a gift. All of your ability is a gift. What do you think? By the way, let me know in the comment. Let me know, what do you think is your gift? Because sometimes the amount of gifts that we have are up and down, you know. I might be a great writer versus I'm not a great actor, or I might be a great actor versus I'm not a great writer. So we all have our own unique gift. And within those gifts, we have our own emotions. I get angry fast, I get stressed fast, I get anxious fast, I get fearful, I get excited. It's all a gift. But every single gift needs to be used correctly. And if you, make no mistake, if you avoid it, if you put it aside, it can backfire. A fire is the most important thing in our life, daily life. You know? Fire is the most important thing. Your car engine uses fire to help it move. Your gas uses fire. Your heat uses fire. When you go camping, you use fire to cook food. Your heater sometimes uses fire. Boiler uses fire, but it can also kill people. You see? So sometimes we have to know we have this gift. Do I want to use it to my benefit? Or do I want to use it adversely or ignore it and have it become catastrophic? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. That's the time that you need to sit down, write down your thoughts, write down your feelings, write down the things that make you sad, the things that make you anxious, the thing that makes you stress, and then decide how you want to go about it. One step at a time. Acknowledging your ups and your downs. It's very simple, but it requires a little bit of dedication, a little bit of management. But you manage it, you will exceed expectation. You will become your best self. And hey, if you have problem with it, talk to somebody about it. See a therapist, see a counselor, see a professional. Talk to somebody. Talk to your parents, your friend. Let them know you have issues. Let them know you have something that is hard for you to process. Because we don't have to be alone. You don't have to be alone. I don't have to be alone. Find an outlet. I hope this was helpful, but let me know, what are you anxious and stressed about? And how do you cope with it? Or rather, how will you embrace it from now on? As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.